Hi everyone, my name is Samantha Allen and I am your child's Algebra 1 teacher. Welcome to Back to School Night 2020 virtual style. I just wanted to introduce myself and kind of tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Fremont, California, and I went to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo for college. That's where I earned my Bachelor's of Science and also where I earned my teaching credential. While I was there, I was on the dance team for my first 4 years. And that's been a huge part of my life is dancing. I've been doing it since I was 2.5. So I continue my passion for dance by teaching dance, and I've done that for quite some time now. This is my 7th year teaching and my 7th year at Amador. So I began right after I graduated from Cal Poly. So obviously, I already told you, but I like to dance and I also love to walk my rescue dog, Cooper. And of course, I love to do math. So I'm going to go ahead and go through some of these slides, which will kind of give you insight into what your child has been doing the past couple weeks and to give you some different things that might be helpful throughout this remote learning process. You can see here is a lovely picture of my dog Cooper and me in my classroom, so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. So I already introduced myself, but I also have some pictures of my classroom since unfortunately we can't be in it right now. So that's what it sort of looks like, nice purple and gold theme. So I wanted to talk about the grade breakdown for the class. So of course, this is subject to change because of everything that has been constantly changing with remote learning and with COVID-19. But currently, we have our assignments at 30%. So assignments include homework, which is assigned every class period. So depending on whether they're 1-3-5 or 2-4-6. The other thing is I put up the homework 1 week in advance. So on Monday, they'll get their entire week's worth of homework. So it's pretty clear on what they need to complete. Participation is 10%. So this isn't necessarily how many times they raise their hand on Zoom or speak up, but it's doing the assignments while we are in class on Zoom together. So this would be like exit tickets, which I will talk about, but they're basically just a 3-question little quiz that will tell me were they paying attention, but also kind of gives me insight to whether or not I need to review certain concepts based on the results. And then we have assessments, which are quizzes or tests or other forms. Again, this is all a new thing for teachers as well. So we've tried quizzes online and we've tried paper quizzes through remote learning. So we're just still trying to figure out what the best method is. And lastly, we have our final, which is at the end of the first semester. So I want to stress that assignments are 30%. And so that is a huge part of their grade. So it's extremely important that they take it seriously and they are doing their homework and classwork assignments. So what a typical day looks like in this remote learning. The first thing that they would do is log on to Zoom. I'm still having some issues with not everyone getting onto Zoom, so it's extremely important that they come on because that's how they participate and learn the material. Attendance is taken and it's mandatory. The next thing we do is a warm-up. So the warm-up is typically what we did the day before, so it's just a good indicator of whether or not they understood the lesson. I always show the homework answers from their previous homework assignment, which will then lead into homework questions. So it's extremely important to me that students understand the homework and the concept from the previous lesson before we move on to the next lesson. So they definitely have an opportunity to ask questions on the homework. After that, we'll begin our lesson. We've done things such as video lessons, part live and part video, and also just live lessons. So we always start together regardless. So we'll take notes as a class. Sometimes we'll go into a video, and sometimes we'll do an activity based on what the content area is. And we generally will end with a exit ticket. And again, that's that little 3-question mini quiz to kind of assess if they learned the material that day. And we always will also end with kind of going over what is expected of them for the rest of the period or for homework. So it's pretty clear what the expectations are after we leave Zoom and what they need to get done that day and what they need to get done before the next class day. Communication. So I use the website primarily. So this is where they're going to find all of their work. So I'm going to just go ahead and take you to that so you can see. So if we go to Algebra 1 assignments, you'll see that, for example, it will tell you that on Zoom, we did our warm-up, we reviewed homework answers, we took notes, and then the your turn is what they do after the Zoom, and then they have their homework. So everything is listed on here, and if they want to go back, they can go back to week 2. There's several links, which will link them to different assignments, but it's very important to know that the website is used to push out assignments and gives them an idea of everything that we did that day. And then we have Google Classroom, and this is where students turn in assignments. So if I go to Google Classroom, you'll see that I have like a new assignment, which is the homework, and then the quizzes assignment. So everything you will turn in on Google Classroom. And I also do important announcements on Google Classroom, like if it needs to get out urgently. How to get extra help. So obviously students can ask questions during class, and that's been happening by using the chat feature or just simply asking. Of course, they're free to email me anytime about questions they have, whether it's on the homework or what we did in class. Students can also use the Google Classroom stream to post questions, and this gives other students an opportunity to answer them as well as myself. And we also have Access, which is on Wednesdays, which also gives students an opportunity to ask for help. And then after Access, I have Office Hours for students who need additional help. One-on-one appointments can also be made through Zoom, and that can be requested by email. And that is it. So thank you. I know this year is not what any of us anticipated, but I'm really going to do my best to make it a great year for your child and make sure that they are prepared for their next year's math class.